Tobias Christensson. He is the Director of Nutrition at MAURTEN. If you've ever skulked past the MAURTEN booth at an expo at a major marathon, this is the guy you want to talk to when you want to figure out how to take it and when. If you're really lucky, get his email. He always answers questions, little needling questions. I'm gonna give you his personal phone number, actually. Can I? I'm just gonna give him your number. Tobias Christensson,
right.
everybody.
Thank you, Nox. So my name is Tobias. In Swedish, we say Christensson. And I am the head of nutrition at this company called MAURTEN. Many people today are talking about fast shoes. But I can tell you, without the right fueling, these fast shoes will not get to the finish line. So, fueling performance, it starts with a very good understanding on what's happening, what's the demands of a sport. So what is Nox doing during his marathon? What's the intensity? What's the duration of his marathon? And those two factors dictates the amount of carbohydrates needed. And here again we see Eliud. A few weeks ago I was in Vienna and witnessed this very fantastic runner. And if we do some analysis of the speed and the physiology behind this, the speed, the intensity is so fast, and during those speeds, the body is so carbohydrate driven, and the energy output is so high. I mean, he can expend a lot of calories during these races, and per minute, it's insane. It's impossible to compensate with energy from an external source that he burns every minute. And that's why the recommendation today is carbohydrate loading. The day and days before, to load carbohydrates within the muscles, to have a very carbohydrate-rich breakfast or pre-race meal, to have carbohydrates available, and the race fueling, we are going to talk about the carbohydrate recommendation during races, but up to 90 grams of carbohydrates per hour. So it's a lot of carbohydrates just to fuel this movement. And for the elite athletes, we see today that they start fueling during their warm-up. They want carbohydrate available at the starting line. They don't wait until 60 minutes, until 90 minutes before they fuel. They start very early. They continue the fueling at 5K and repeat that all through. Today we see a change in the fueling from liquid-based carbohydrates to gels. And in my opinion, I will always prefer drinks because it provides both fluid and energy at the same time.
So why are people doing gels?
Yes. They might want to reduce their weight because in a gel it's very concentrated energy with very low amount of water. And they think it will have a performance benefit. The carbohydrate recommendations today, not only for the elite, but also for sub-elite and the ambitious runner who wants to break their PB, maybe at the lower range here, 60 grams per hour for the recreational runner. And up to 90 grams of carbohydrates is also the recommendation from American College of Sports Medicine. And some really good experts from Canada and from Australia, they are also suggesting a wider range when it comes to carbohydrates to fuel the performance. A sports nutrition expert called Asker Jøkendrup is also recommending up to 90 grams per hour. And these recommendations are based on a collection of data and a collection of studies. And what we observe today is that runners are running a longer distance with a bottle. They have switched their attention to what's in the bottle. And this is something we, of course, notice from MAURTEN. They run longer distance to have a lot of time to ingest the carbohydrates. And they don't skip the 40K marker. And I mean, for these runners, they have only six minutes to go. Why should they drink a lot of carbohydrates? We know today that carbohydrates in the mouth can activate pleasure and reward centers of the brain and have a cognitive effect of well-being and so on, and enhance performance. And that's also something we see today. The runners on Sundays are divided in three categories: elite, sub-elite, and the recreational runner. The distance is the same. The intensity differs a lot. So the energy expenditure per unit of time or per minute differs a lot. And this will dictate the amount of carbohydrates needed. And that's why I have been involved and created these very, very, very generic guidelines for the recreational runner. So as you can see here, it's 7 gels. One of them is ingested during the warm-up, and the other 6 are spread and distributed during the race. And these 7 gels means different amount of carbohydrates, different frequency of the intake of a gel, depending on how fast you are. And as we can see here, if Knox running a sub 2:30 marathon, if he ingesting 7 gels, he will get around 70 grams of carbohydrates per hour. And for the more the caffeine consumer, I would do like this to enhance the performance. So I will alternate between the caffeine gel and the normal gel. And the aim here is to build up the caffeine to have a peak in the last 10 or 12 K of the race, to have the kick in the end of the race when you really need it. Thank you for listening.
Tobias, thank you very much. We're going to continue moving.